Heheheel and his siblings have always been some of my favourites. They look so goofy. Just their mouths agape while they pop out of the little pot. It's just so funny to me. It's also interesting to me that they have no relation whatsoever, but they still make them all fit within the pot theme. Heheheel loves to laugh, Crunder loves to song, and Ernakonda loves to fear. But do they do well in competitive? Let's have a look. Before we talk about these yokai individually, I have to talk about their skill, Jar Guard. Thanks so much to Rimuro for making me aware of this skill. I'm going to go off script for this. Jar Guard is insane, and none of you know it. So in the description of it, they say, has extremely high chances to guard. That's not what it is at all. It has no chance on the yokai's chance to guard. What it actually does is it doubles the effects of guard. Right? So guarding usually half damage some point in the calculation, but with Jar Guard it quarters it. And that includes magic. So like basically Heheheel and Crunder and Ernakonda and whoever else has the skill are just like insane magic tanks. Like there's a lot of stuff like this in Yokai Watch 3 where it's just not translated well at all. Like, let me find something. There's a lot of the skills like this, like Genesect Quad skill boosts effective in spirits for all yokai. At least it says what it means, but like that's not really telling me anything. Knocks out an enemy on very low health. The problem with Yokai Watch skills is that they're so vague. And then you have stuff like Spring skill is like, oh, you only receive half damage from an attack. Like, yeah, okay. But like, you're telling me I'm taking half damage, but like, by an attack, do you, like, I know they just mean the physical attack, but like you have to be a bit more specific from that, because it doesn't trigger on magic damage. And like, anything else? It's just very vague, as I'm saying. And then some skills are just like Jar Guard are just not translated well at all, and it's just not what they do. So I'm gonna go back to the script now, just had to talk about that. So with that out of the way, let's first discuss Heheheel, probably most underrated of these three. They all have the same skill, but all different stats and movesets. Heheheel has awful strength and HP, alright speed, and good spirit and defense. The spirit is kind of wasted on the healing technique, but the healing ultimate isn't actually terrible on a tank. A full team heal is pretty nice on a tank, since your goal is to keep yourself and your allies alive. Strength boosting in spirit is fine, but not very strong. As much as it pains me, you probably want to run them as a healer. Dedicated tanks that can heal themselves are pretty nice, I will say, and Heheheel can keep himself properly alive for longer because of this. He can't really pressure the opponent like the other two, as his healing capabilities make him a lot more of a passive tank. You want him, as well as the rest of his family, with exclusively shielding soul, and make sure yours is tender so he can never do his job. Never thought I'd be speaking so highly of a healer. Dedicated healers still suck though. Heheheel works since he's more of a tank, but he can keep himself going over time. Crunder is up next, and his situation is much different. He doesn't have any healing. Her strength is great, but her defense is a bit worse than Heheel's. By the way, Crunder's gender fluid in my headcanon, because like, just going off script again, their voice lines are feminine, but the only mention of their gender says they're he in their ultimate description. So like, I don't know, you tell me, but I'm gonna say they're gender fluid, so I'm just gonna use whatever pronouns. But her strength is great, but her defense is a bit worse than Heheel's. Her ultimate is a physical attack on the two front rows, totaling to 220 base power. This is pretty average for a 6-tiler. It still does great damage looking at Crunder's strength and really helps pressure the opponent. A tank that can do some damage while also taking damage extremely well thanks to everyone's favourite skill. He's probably the best of these three. Heheheel is nice for the healing support, but Crunder's offense is usually better. Crunder has really everything you want in a tank. He's low rank, she has an amazing tank skill, and she has proper offense to do some real damage. Finally, she pairs really nicely with Copperlead, since it lets her take Solar Enema Fire a lot better, and also adds to his decent damage with the strength boosting ultimate. Damn, 2 yokai in a row that I'm basically addicted to. I'm on a roll. Let's round out the trio with the unfortunate Ernakonda. Ernakonda fell from grace in the shift from Yokai Watch 2 to 3. In 2, there was an integral mechanic in the battles called poking, that let you either do damage to or take Soul Meter from, and inspired their loafing yokai on the other team. Ernakonda is the only one of the 3 pot snakes with an inspiriting ultimate, so he was the most used. He's pretty much just a slightly better Heheheel stat wise, and he even has a better healing technique. Now in 3, poking is removed, and since that was the main thing keeping Ernakonda better than Crunder and Heheheel, he is now the worst of the 3 to many people, including myself. Of course he does have his own niches, for example in Edsoft teams, but he's a lot rarer than the other two. He's pretty much just a Heheheel with a worse ultimate, so you really shouldn't use him over Heheheel in most teams. Even though Poison is a stronger archetype in 3, it still isn't great and you're better off using a tank like Eusebio in Football, who we'll talk about more in a sec, or Neckplant, that have a more useful tribe and will actually help you your Poisoners. Finally, let's talk about Eusebio in Football as a bonus. He also has Jarguard, but has a better damage output than even Crunder. He has slightly worse strength than Crunder, but a much better defense and a bit better HP, so he can tank hits a lot more easily. The only thing that dissuades me from using him is the accuracy problem. He has pretty low speed, and his physical attack is below average accuracy. You can't really rely on him as much as Crunder as an offensive tank, unless you pair him with Grumbles or Returna. He is very good, don't get me wrong, but I still recommend using Crunder unless you have a shady unity to fill out. In summary, Ernakonda sucks, Heheheel's good, Eusebio in Football is good, and Crunder is amazing. I just wish they translated Jarguard better so they could get the recognition they deserved in competitive. One more thing, Treasure Pest also has Jarguard, but his stats are worse than Eusebio's Football's, and his moveset sucks. Don't use Treasure Pest unless you really want him to fill out your unity. Anyway, what do you think of these yokai? Let me know in the comments and have a good day.